The book that I chose to do my book analysis on is Why Him, Why Her by Dr. Helen Fisher. We have seen some of Dr. Helen Fisher's work in this class already. I think it was chapter 11 or 12. She told us why people fall in love and how it affects the brain. In this book, Dr. Fisher talks about many concepts. Her main idea is that there are four main personality types, and each person is one of these four personality types. She then goes on to explain how each person has a main personality type of one of these four and then a secondary personality type of one of these four. And each of these personality types has different reasons for falling in love and different types of personality types they tend to fall in love with. She discovered the four types of personalities that she thinks people generally fall into while creating her personality test for a new dating website she was helping make, which is chemistry.com. The four types of personalities that she found were explorers, who are curious, creative, adventurous people; builders, who are calm, loyal, traditional type people; directors, who are analytical, competitive, independent, strategic-minded people; and negotiators, who are imaginative, verbal, and introspective people. Each of these four personality types fall in love with a certain personality type or work best in relationships with a certain personality type. Explorers work best with explorers, builders work best with builders, directors work best with negotiators, and negotiators work best with directors. The reason for why each one works best together is explorers are very curious and they like to explore things, so if they are with another explorer, then they both can have this need fulfilled by their partner because they will both be exploring things together. Builders want traditional, loyal partners, so another builder is the best for them. Directors work best with negotiators because negotiators help them balance out their life instead of always being so structured. Negotiators help them work on their intrapersonal skills. As well, negotiators work best with directors because directors help them bring some structure and decisiveness to their life. Dr. Fisher also explains how hormones affect a person's personality. She also discusses some ways that do not work for attracting a potential partner, including playing hard to get. She explained how liking yourself is a key trait in order to attract someone else to like you, and she also explained when people are most likely to fall in love and what factors go into this. Dr. Fisher, obviously, her main idea is that personality plays a major role, if not the biggest role, in how well a relationship will work. Researcher Sierra Altman found that a person's personality affects how they behave and adapt to external stressors. There are many external stressors in relationships, so how a person reacts to those plays an integral part to how well the relationship will work. For example, in this situation, if a person shuts down and does not communicate well with their partner during a time of external stressors, then it will affect the relationship negatively. However, if they instead react by relying on and working with their partner, it'll help strengthen the relationship, and the relationship will probably thrive. So Dr. Altman came to the same conclusion about how much of a role relationships or personalities play in relationships. The research done by B. Solomon also found that personality plays a major role in how well a relationship will work. He found that by just knowing the personality traits of the individuals in a relationship, he could predict pretty accurately whether or not the two people would still be together in 10 years. The key traits that he looked for were agreeableness, conscientiousness, and neuroticism. He found that a partner that scored low on agreeableness and conscientiousness and high on neuroticism was likely to split up with their other partner at some point. Dr. Fisher found that personality traits do work better with certain personality traits over others. For example, with explorers, they work better with other explorers because they crave new experiences, and if an explorer is with someone else who doesn't crave new experiences, they may get turned off by always having to do something new, but being with another explorer, they can experience new stuff together and enjoy it together. Along with that, directors and negotiators' personality types and traits work best together because they can appreciate how, for example, how the negotiator can enjoy the little things in life, the director can appreciate that, and the negotiator can appreciate how the director takes everything seriously and tries to do his best for every single task he works on or she works on. Researcher Marcus Munn came up with a similar theory during his research. He found that certain personality traits do work best with other certain personality traits. He looked at which specific personality traits work best together in relationships. He found that a personality that consisted of neuroticism and self-reproach did not work well with any personality traits in a relationship. He also found that the best personality traits to have and look for in a partner are sociability, agreeableness, and antagonism. He said that a mixture of these traits between partners allows them to work through issues as a team instead of turning against each other when issues arise. Dr. Fisher found that hormones play a big role in what type of personality traits a person will have. She found that she could predict which personality traits that women would score highest on and which ones that men would score highest on. She said that the different hormones that men and women produce allowed her to correctly predict which personality types would be most aligned with certain sexes. For example, due to testosterone raising competitiveness, a key trait of directors, she correctly guessed that significantly more men than would have this as their main personality type than women. Of the people who took her test, about 25% of the men got director as their personality type. On the other hand, only about 10% of women have this as their main personality type. The research that James Roney did also found that hormones do affect a person's personality. He found that hormones affect what personality traits a person is looking for in a romantic partner. He found that some women, presumably negotiators, according to Dr. Helen Fisher's research, look for a romantic partner with dominant personality traits, which Dr. Fisher would call a director. He found that women who had high estrogen levels were more prone to search for a partner with dominant personality traits. Dominant personality traits are usually correlated with high testosterone levels. This research lines up exactly with how Dr. Fisher explained the director-negotiator relationship to work. In the book, Dr. Fisher also explains some productive ways and unproductive ways to try and attract a partner. Dr. Fisher claims that playing hard to get is not a good way to attract a potential partner. She said that even though it can produce frustration attraction, which is caused by a barrier that can produce feelings of romantic love, it is not one way that she would recommend to attract a partner. She has not found that it actually improves one's chance of winning a partner. She said that women are even more put off by it than men are. On the other hand, Dr. Jonas's research found evidence that went against Dr. Fisher. He did a study where he had college students play hard to get. He had some people act like they were highly available, some act like they were moderately available, and some act like they had low availability. He found that the potential partners worked harder for and spent more money on the ones that pretended to have low availability. His hypothesis for why this was the case was that potential partners thought that the reason that the people had low availability was because they had the best or most desirable traits, so they were willing to work harder to try and get a partner with those traits. In the book, Dr. Fisher explains a few factors that might make a person more ripe or available to fall in love at, sometimes more than others. Dr. Fisher claims that a few factors put a person in the right position to fall in love. One factor is when a person is going through a transition in life. The reason for that is that the transition produces stress and these strong emotions help a person to fall in love, into romantic love if an opportunity comes up. Another factor that affects someone's susceptibility to fall in love is proximity. The more that a person sees or is around someone, even just in general passing, the more the person can become attracted to them. Along with proximity, familiarity is another factor. Dr. Fisher found that people who are likely to be more attracted to someone who is somewhat familiar. She called this effect repeated exposure. Researcher Marty Hazelton came up with similar reasons to Dr. Fisher about why people are more susceptible to fall in love at certain times than other times. He went into a number of different reasons why people fall in love with who they do, including conscious and biological reasons. However, at the end of his research, he did say that he saw more people falling in love after they had made a major life change. He said that after going through the change, people began to calibrate their aspirations, and this is the time that he generally saw people falling in love during his research. Dr. Fisher said that one key to having a person falling in love with you of any personality trait or any type of personality is to like yourself first. Dr. Fisher explains that one reason that it is important to like yourself first when trying to find a partner is that when you walk and interact with confidence, it is attractive to potential partners. Potential partners are typically not looking for someone who is not self-assured and constantly needs support. She said that in her research she found that self-assured people tend to be more friendly, open, and flirtatious. She said even if you are not completely confident in yourself, act like you are. Acting like you are self-assured is one great way to gain self-confidence as well as potentially find a partner. Researcher Tatiana Belak had similar findings in her research on the topic. In her research, she found that all the participants claimed that visible anxiousness was an undesirable trait for a partner. Along with that, she found that all of the participants perceived confidence to be a desirable trait in a partner. They associated a partner with positive characteristics to a partner who was confident. However, the participants that claimed to have social anxiety said that they did not want a partner who was too confident. They claimed that it brought feelings of inferiority in the relationship. So it is important to be confident, but a person should not be arrogant. These are the references that I used for this presentation.